One bag, two bags that I've unpacked. I'm still unpacking all the baggage from the JW organization. Hey, Fortunate One. Welcome back to Fortunate Awakening. I'm Nadine. Here at Fortunate Awakening, this is a safe place where ex-Jehovah's Witnesses can embark on healing from all of the emotional abuse and stunted growth has happened to so many of us when we were members of the Jehovah's Witness organization. So in this video, I wanted us to talk about our power to choose what comes next in our lives. The more and more I work on myself emotionally, it's clear that the power lies in my mind. Because, as you know my story, I was in the organization for 20 years, but even when I was out of the organization for quite a long time, my mind was still held prisoner by all of the fear tactics and the brainwashing that I heard in my very formative years, starting at age 7 until 27. So even though I made up my mind to leave the organization, was disfellowshipped and left, did not want to go back. Even after I was disfellowshipped, I knew, as hurtful as it was to be disfellowshipped, I knew I did not want to go back to the JW organization. But mentally, I was still trapped. I still was not living to my fullest potential, the newfound freedom that I had. I did get married, I did have children, but I didn't realize for so long, even after I was out of the organization, my mind was still trapped. It wasn't until I started associating with other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, one that I met on the job, people that would come to my house and field service, and when I would finally open up and say, I was disfellowshipped, and I'm like, all this baggage would come flooding back, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I realized I've been stunted spiritually. I never sought out anything else for learning about my spirituality, my connection to God. I kind of just still had so many hang-ups and fears about religion and spirituality that were taught to me when I was in the organization. So as I've started to unpack all of this baggage that I suppressed for so many years, it has been a lot. It has been eye-opening. I've been trying to figure out, how do I truly enjoy my freedom and truly enjoy this thing called life that we're all blessed with. And the power that I have to make change is in my mind. It's what I believe. And then that will help me, once I get my beliefs free and let the chains off of my mind from the JW organization, then I can actually start growing and flourishing more. And that's what has happened to me. I have had to step out of my comfort zone because, like I said, the fear that has been instilled in me for so long has kept me paralyzed, even outside of the organization. So I tried to look at this and say, like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm an intelligent person. I have a Bachelor of Science in nursing. I've successfully practiced as a nurse for 26 years. We live a good life. I'm able to really parent my children well, but why am I stuck? Why was this so hard when I see others that didn't grow up with this type of mind control? How come they're able to be to explore things? Like when they hear about things, like I've wanted to explore and understand crystals for years, and I've just been brave enough to do it. I remember being newly disfellowshipped, and I was drawn to crosses and angels just because I really like to decorate and make my house just really beautiful and appeasing to the eye. Like, I love that. It took me over a decade before I would buy a cross and put it in my house. I was just so afraid. I was so afraid of what we had been taught about what the cross represented, that even though I was not a Jehovah's Witness, I would not buy a cross and put one in my house. So now, if you've seen any of my other videos, I have a beautiful cross in the entryway of my home. And when I look at it, it makes me happy. I have angels, because I was always drawn to angels in my home, and they make me happy when I look at them. And that bondage on my mind and my heart have been freed. So that's one bag, 2 bags that I've unpacked. I'm still unpacking all the baggage from the JW organization. But I just wanted to share this revelation that I've had, that the reason why it's so hard for us as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses to move on is we're not functioning the way humans function on a whole so that they can develop. Like, for instance, when you have scientists that make discoveries, it's because they questioned the norm. They questioned, just one example, and I'm not going to debate on which one is right and which one is correct, but like the debate about what is the center of the universe. Is it the sun? Is it the earth? Was the earth flat? Was the earth a globe? The debate about how diseases were spread. Like, if people were not willing to say, I'm just not going to believe what the status quo is, I'm going to investigate and see what other options could be causing this outcome. If they didn't think for themselves, we still might not even have running water. We still might not even know that washing our hands can wash away something that we can't see with the naked eye called a germ. And that's why people were getting sick, not because of some voodoo, hoodoo, shoodoo, but because doctors, you need to wash your hands between patients, and then the diseases will go down. People didn't just accept the status quo. So as a Jehovah's Witness, we don't have any practice with thinking outside the box. We were told to stay in the box, do not leave the box, and fear tactics were put upon us so that if you leave the box, all these things are going to happen to you. You are going to leave out of Jehovah's good graces. You are going to, the one that always stuck out to me, and I don't know if they really said this, but I just distinctly got the impression as a child, which who knows, as a child, who could interpret that information clearly? But the fear that was put in me was that if you ever leave the organization, you are going to be crazy. Look at what happened to Michael Jackson. And that had me so torn, because I'm like, I like Michael Jackson. Like, I like Michael Jackson. Like, I was so sad when he was disfellowshipped. Or if I don't know if he was disfellowshipped or he made a formal breaking away from the organization. But I remember being so sad when they said that on the platform. So we have to practice, get those muscles going. Just like you exercise your physical body, you have to exercise your mind as well. And this is linked to science. Like, they even show people, if you want to slow the decline of your brain, you do brain games, you do different things to keep those synapses and neurons firing and regenerating. Well, we had no practice. So what I had to deliberately do is reflect on my emotions and just start thinking through things and making decisions for myself. So I had to decide, do I want to belong to another church? Do I want to be a part of organized religion? Like, the thing for me, the non-thinking thing, just following along as I did as a Jehovah's Witness, was, okay, we live in a evangelical state. We homeschool. Most of the homeschoolers are evangelical. We should belong to an evangelical church. We should belong to a church community. And I really felt like that was the same thing. It was me yet again giving away my freedom to worship and serve and connect with God spiritually, individually, whatever is best for Nadine, and me saying, oh, let me go to this evangelical church and yet again be a part of what man is telling me is the best way to connect with my Heavenly Father, and still doing no investigation on my own, still not taking any responsibility on, still never using my brain to critically think about what is best and feel my emotions. Like a wonderful ExJW channel that you should watch. I highly recommend it if you don't know about them. It's called ExJW Critical Thinker. Oh my God. So it's a couple and then their friend, and they are so intelligent. They are so articulate. They do extensive research. So if you're still in the stage where you're still needing proof of the wrongdoing of the organization, like systemic wrongdoing, systemic hiding of abuse and lies about dates and prophecies, ExJW Critical Thinkers is the channel for you. I am past that. I still enjoy their channel. Oh my goodness, because the information that they find, like how do they have time to do all that research? I appreciate them. But I know that the organization has nothing to do with God, and has done so much harm. And I am just where I want to heal from all of the years of abuse and to provide a place where other people can heal. And I just want to use the counseling that I've been taught to help people while I was a nurse, to help grieving people dealing with loss. So I've been able to use those things to help me to heal. And then I want to share my healing journey with others so that they can, while they're walking along on their healing journey. So the first thing is use your mind to critically think, use your mind to process your emotions. And then, for me, it's as simple as writing down pros and cons. Like when I was trying to decide if I was going to join another church, and I was like, no, this is me just following these rules again and not truly searching out all that is here about our Creator on the earth, about connecting with people. I need to search those things out on my own. So I would say take your time, start exercising your brain, your critical thinking skills, because you didn't do that when you're a Jehovah's Witness, right? So start doing that. And the more and more you exercise your mind, you're going to see how powerful your mind is and how it will lead you into the right direction. And then you'll start having more faith in yourself. You'll start not having as much doubt. Like I doubted everything I did. Even though I knew I was supposed to marry my husband, I still doubted myself. I still doubted my decision. I remember when I decided to homeschool my children, like it was so clear that that was what I needed to do when I thought about it and had my list of my pros and my cons, but I still had so much doubt. And I would look at other people that would be just self-confident in things. And I'm like, because they had a lot more practice in it than me. They had practice in branching out and doing things on their own at a very young age. And then of course you're going to have some failures, but that muscle got built, that faith in themselves, thinking through things became stronger because they got to see the successes, right? So I would say continue to have faith in yourself. You might be alone. A sweet girl sent me a message saying that she was disfellowshipped as a teen and now she's in her 20s and she just feels so lonely, and just about how hard it is. But I want to encourage you all that you will be alone for a while, but it is just all a part of your metamorphosis. Think about, we're like caterpillars. We're slow. We're in our cocoon. We're blind. We couldn't even see as Jehovah's Witnesses. We were blind. There was no progression. And then now we're in the growing phase. We're still in our cocoons, but now we're starting to grow. Our vision is broadening. Our hearts are broadening. We can see a little bit as it gets broken open, and the end will be that we will manifest into a beautiful butterfly, and we will be able to fly and enjoy life and show our beauty to others and be able to recognize their beauty as well. So keep on with your critical thinking, trusting yourself to make wise decisions, and it's going to get better. All right. Love you, fortunate ones. Bye.